Whoa, what a year it's been after a chaotic year that was 2020. Many of us expected 2021 to be less COVID heavy. Oh, how wrong we were. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to take a look back at the year that was. This week, I start off with the first third of the year, including Invasion Day, WA's historic election, and the 30-year anniversary of the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are warned that this video contains images, names, and voices of deceased people. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We should have known that this moment was foreshadowing the year that we were in for. This was a moment in history that many of us will stop and remember where we were when we found out that Capitol Hill had been invaded. Although the US event was unrelated to Indigenous affairs, comments made by then Deputy Prime Minister Michael McGowan were.
The events at Capitol Hill that we've seen in recent days, similar to those race riots that we saw around the country last year.
He compared the Capitol Hill rioters to Black Lives Matter's protesters, which drew anger from Indigenous Australians. Most of the time, Indigenous affairs related news in January tends to surround Australia Day, and this year was no different. Ahead of January 26, Cricket Australia announced their decision to drop Australia Day from their promotional material. This didn't go down well with ScoMo.
Look, I think Australian cricket fans would like to see Cricket Australia focus a lot more on cricket and a lot less on politics.
But Morrison was also the bloke who said January 26 wasn't a great day for those arriving on the ships either. With an election coming up next year, I predict that ScoMo will be out in force, being more conservative and more liberal than ever before. On the eve of January 26, the Australian of the Year Awards were held. This year, women took out every category, including Senior of the Year. Territorian 71-year-old Aboriginal activist, educator and artist Dr. Miriam Rose Ungamar Bowman won this category. As mentioned, this month tends to be a big month for Indigenous Australians due to Australia Day. Following the 2020 Black Lives Matter movement, this year's Invasion Day protest had some of the biggest turnouts, including here in Perth.
It should be in mind of kids, families everywhere, that we sit down and have a conversation and talk about changing the date where we all can celebrate and come together.
February saw the biggest Facebook meltdown in our history, with several news organisations, including the West Australian, pulled from the social media site. The blackout also saw many vital accounts such as Aboriginal medical services wiped from the platform during a time where COVID was still affecting our country. Rapper Kid Laroi's world domination began. The Aboriginal rapper has since gone on to become one of the biggest superstars in the world. He later went on to break records and build a new platform for Indigenous artists and ended the year with his first Grammy nominations. Also this month, big news in AFL. After the highly anticipated anti-racism report, Collingwood Football Club President Eddie McGuire resigned.
I try my best, and I don't always get it right.
The independent Do Better review said Collingwood's response to racist incidents was at best ineffective or at worst exasperated the impacts of the racist incidents. A horrific, racially driven attack rocked the nation when police revealed an Aboriginal mother and her child were targeted by a man with a swastika sign on his forehead. Police accused 37-year-old Liam Michael Bradley of yelling vile racial abuse at the mother and daughter, including, "You should all be killed." Mr. Bradley then allegedly used a spray can and a barbecue lighter to create a 30-centimetre flame, aiming it at the pair before running away. The mother received a minor burn to her arm. In February, David Gulpilil's last film, My Name is Gulpilil, was released. The actor filmed a special documentary reflecting his stellar career. He acknowledges due to his ailing health, this could be his very last film. Sadly, we ended up losing Gulpilil later in the year when he lost his battle with lung cancer. He was 68 years old. In March, history was made in WA when the Labor Party absolutely killed it during the state election, almost wiping out the opposition. This year, we saw the highest number of Aboriginal candidates put forward among all major parties. But sadly, we said goodbye to Aboriginal Affairs Minister Ben Wyatt, who retired from politics. In April, the West Australian launched the Blak Deaths in Custody series that I presented as part of the 30-year anniversary of when the recommendations were handed down from the Royal Commission into Aboriginal deaths in custody. The video series marked the first time that the West lifted the paywall on video content. The series is also available here on this channel.
I went and talked to her 3 days. She was in the lockup and then she was dead.
Also this month, actress Sharina Clanton came out with shocking allegations about racism on the set of Ten's long-running drama, Neighbours. She claimed a fellow actor reportedly used the N-word in her presence. At the end of April, the State Administrative Tribunal found the doctor who treated Yamatji woman Miss Jew before her death in police custody guilty of professional misconduct. Dr. Vartha Nadiri declared Miss Jew fit for custody in South Headland in August 2014, despite her elevated heart rate and persistently saying she was in pain. Less than 24 hours later, the 22-year-old died from severe infection and pneumonia stemming from a broken rib allegedly sustained from a domestic violence incident before she was arrested for unpaid fines. Be sure to tune into next week's episode where I take you through the next 4 months of 2021, including the Olympics, COVID outbreaks, and the deadly moments in pop culture where our mob shined the brightest. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.